Parshas Vaetchannan. This week in the Parsha we see many times in the Parsha it says Ahavas Hashem l'keich v'chol levavcho. You should be loving Hashem with your whole heart. And then we see another time Ki Ahavas Hashem eschem, Hashem loves you. And we see a lot of times in this week's Parsha the word love mentioned, and not till a short while ago this word was kind of very foreign in people's dictionaries. It wasn't kind of a Jewish or from word that a lot of people have used, but now as we evolved, as time has gone through, it's become very popular, this word, and everyone is using it. You have to love your kids, you have to show love, you have to express love, and the 5 love languages. People are starting to speak about it in very high quantities. And let's dive in a bit. What does this mean? What does this mean, loving Hashem, and how do you get to it? What are the easy ways to get to it? How could you tap into it? How could you feel that you're loving Hashem or Hashem is loving you? What does it mean? Do I ever feel like Hashem is loving me or not? So let's start with the basics. As we know, the Nesiv Shulam says all over again and again in almost every parsha of the Chumash, he says that the entire Torah and the mitzvahs, people wonder, why do I have to do mitzvahs? Why do I have to keep Shabbos, learn Torah, and do all of these 630 mitzvahs? What is going on? Some people are doing it just so they should be called from Yidden. Some people are doing it so they should be able to marry a good shidduch. Some people are doing it just for society. They want to fit in. Their father is going to be very angry with them if they don't do the mitzvahs, if they don't keep Shabbos, if they don't eat kosher. It's going to be very painful for the parents. So they're kind of doing all of this just out of fear or out of gaining approval from other people, or for external reasons, for no reason, nothing to do with Hashem. And we have to understand that the entire Torah and the entire mitzvahs was created by Hashem in a magical way, so we human beings, us Yidden, could use the mitzvahs and the Torah to connect to Hashem. And once we do it with that intention, we automatically have this feeling of like the creator of the world, Hashem, has given you a time of Shabbos, has given you a day that you should stop doing your own things and just connect with Hashem. Now, what does this mean? What does it mean? Now, there was certain times in your life where you felt extreme amounts of joy, extreme amounts of happiness, and go back, close your eyes for a few minutes and go back in your life for a few moments and see there is certain feelings that you can't explain. And it's like a feeling. You feel extreme amounts of joy and light, and you can't really explain it with words. And this is the reason, because once it goes into the mental and we try to explain it, I felt like this, I felt this feeling you can't imagine, then it loses its entire value. Because feelings of joy and love is just there. It's a feeling that a human being has the capacity to feel it, and it's a spiritual feeling. It's a feeling of extreme joy, and that is what means Devaikis Hashem. So it means when you feel the presence of Hashem, which is in every moment, in every space in the world, it's there. Everything is already there. You just have to uncover it to feel it. And I'm talking to myself. It's a very hard thing to do. And we could start tapping into it by tapping into how it works between human beings. You have had love with another human being, or while doing something that you enjoy, you have felt it. You have felt it in the physical kind of realm. So you have a sample of what it means feeling that kind of feeling. That's just a fraction of what it feels of a neshama being in the presence of Hashem, which means every neshama is a part of Hashem. It's a chaylik l'kai mimal, and that resides inside of your body. Now, when that the entire yearning of the neshama is, the desire is to come back to its source, which is Hashem. Now, you can't explain this, you can't understand this. The only thing is that you could feel it. And you've had these times in the middle of davening, or sometimes maybe Rosh Hashanah, you have started feeling this kind of light, this kind of feeling of relaxation, this kind of joy. You cannot explain it. I cannot explain it to you. But this what means Ahavas Hashem. It means a deep connection, a deep joy that is always there. And the way we get to uncover it is through Torah and mitzvahs. That's the way that we use as our channel to connect to the presence of Hashem, through sitting in the sikkah, through eating a Shabbos meal, through singing a song, through davening in shul, through shaking a lilav. All of that actions, that physical actions, makes us go out of our body a little bit and go into the spiritual realm. When we go into the spiritual realm, there is no body, there's no time, there's no sadness, there's no fear. All of this is only in the physical, mental mind. Once we get out of that, we experience Ahavas Hashem. And that's why the Nesiv Shulam tells us the whole time that Ahavas Hashem and Devaikis Hashem are one thing. It is one thing. The second you have love is when you have presence, and when we have joy is when we have connection to Hashem. That all happens at the same moments. And when you say Yiras Hashem, Yiras Shumayim means you feel awe. That means when you come in and someone takes you out of space in a shuttle and puts you on Mars, and you go out on Mars, you're in awe. You see all the stars and the space galaxy. You just tremble of awe. It's not fear. It's just you're taken over by the vastness, by the beauty, by the infinite. That's what means Yiras Hashem. You're so in awe of who Hashem is and the infinity of Hashem that we can't even comprehend it. Everything a human being brings in his mental mind, they try to comprehend it. Okay, so this person has 30 buildings. Okay, they have $4.2 billion. Okay, I know the limit. I see it. I can understand it. Okay, but when it comes to Hashem things, and it comes to space and all the worlds and the Maluchim and these Gan Eden and Gehenna, all of these things, we have such a hard time comprehending it because it's so spiritual. And spiritual things don't live in a mental mind which has constraints and fear and is time-based and is busy. Did it happen? What happened in the past happened in the future. When it comes to Hashem and any spirituality, it is beyond time and space. And once you start trying to connect with it, the best way to do it is through deep breathing and through davening, which is also a form of meditation. You kind of get into your own body. It's called embodiment. You start feeling present here now in the moment, which means you go out of the hijacking of your mind, which your mind usually hijacks you to the past or the future. It's never actually in the present. Any second that you could tap in and feel actually right here, right now, you start tapping in the energy of Hashem. That is the moment you start feeling deep love and joy towards Hashem. And I can't explain it to you, but if you'll do these exercises, deep breathing, you'll do breathing while you daven Shemona Esrei, and you'll completely understand what you're saying out of your words. You'll try to imagine the honest that you're standing on a globe here in a body, your kidneys are pumping, and you'll be able to say Moida Ani. You'll be able to stand in front of the Maluchim and say Vayechili Hashemayim ve'uretz. Once you'll start just feeling it, don't think it. You start feeling a little tremble, and you'll start to see what means Ahavas Hashem, what means Devaikis Hashem. And then when you will do your mitzvahs, you will do your Shabbos, you'll do your whatever you do, tefillin, you'll open a chimish, you will do it for the right reasons. And that's what means Torah Lishma. You're learning Torah because this is the way you connect to Hashem, nothing else. Not because you want to have this name or that name, or you want to show your parents, or you show your friends or your wife. That is all called Torah Shaloi Lishma. That's why we see there's such harbe things in Torah Shaloi Lishma. It's Chayiv Misa. What is going on? Hashem wants real connection. This is what Hashem wants. It doesn't want anything fake. That's why we see in this parasha there's so much emphasis on Ahavas Hashem B'chol Levavcha. We just finished the Charbon Bais Hamikdash, where we see the avodah of the Bais Hamikdash. Most of the avodah is not learning in yeshiva, is not studying test. Most of the avodah in the Bais Hamikdash has to do with the heart, has to do coming in with the Karban and completely surrendering, the Levim singing, making the owner of the Karban fully present and fully emotional, fully crying, surrendering and doing tshiva, coming back in presence to Hashem, coming into the Heichel, giving the Ketoides, smelling in the aromas of the Ketores, bringing people back to the feeling, to feel Hashem, to feel the presence of the Shekhinah. That's what means Hashruas HaShekhinah. It means not in the brain. This is completely in the heart. That's why we say it's all in the heart. It's in the heart, and the heart means feeling. There's feeling and there's thinking. It's complete. It's a very important both, but the feeling is where you start experiencing the actual spirituality. And that's what the Beis HaMikdash is. That's what we lost, and that's what we're going to be getting back. Hashem wants us to have this deeper connection, the actual feeling that you come into the Beis HaMikdash, your entire body gets embodied in the sensations, in the feelings. It takes you over. You melt into the love of Hashem. That is what the Beis HaMikdash resembles, and that's what is the epicenter of the Avodas Hashem. All of the other mitzvahs and the Torah is all to get you to this kind of connection, the connection of coming into the Beis HaMikdash and fully being there in the presence of Hashem, which is happening every single second. There's no second that is disconnected from Hashem. Have an amazing Shabbos. Thank you.